Hi, and thanks for joining me, Emma Louise Hamilton. In today's video, I'm going to be taking you around the day in the life of an Amazon reseller. So today is the 19th of October and this is 5 to 10. I actually have a few interviews scheduled in today for packing/warehouse operatives. So the first interviewee is due in 5 minutes, so let's head inside and get prepared for this interview. Before we jump into the video, I'd like to give a big shout out to our sponsors, Awesome. They are an Amazon approved e-commerce bookkeeping and accounting specialists who have their own mobile and desktop app that integrates directly with all major e-commerce platforms like Amazon, eBay and Shopify. Through this app, you get direct access to your dedicated accountant, a snapshot of your financial position as you can see here, and in the accounting tab, you can upload all your invoices and receipts directly to your dedicated bookkeeper. Since joining Awesome, the way we manage our accounting data has been transformed, simplified and is now stress-free. If you are unhappy with your accounting or you know there is a better way, try Awesome for yourself and get an exclusive discount on their services using my referral link in the video description below. So I've just checked the calendar and the first applicant is actually coming at 11 AM, which is pretty good because we were cutting it quite fine. These applicants are actually coming to us through the Kickstarter scheme. I have mentioned the Kickstarter a few times in the Facebook group. Essentially, it's jobs for young people and the government pays their wages. Our first Kickstarter placement actually started about 3 weeks ago and he's been instrumental to the growth in our business since we started because essentially he is a super fast packer, so he's helped us get lots of units out quicker than we previously could have before. If you do want to see more about the Kickstarter scheme and how you can get a young person in your business and get labour essentially free, then you know what to do. Smash that thumbs up button. I asked in the Facebook group what laptop we should get him and there was lots of suggestions, so thank you to everyone who put their suggestions forward. In the end, we opted for the Microsoft Surface Go simply because it can be detached. I did take some footage of when I was actually buying the piece of equipment, so what I'm going to do is insert that clip now. So we've gone for the Surface Pro and that's because we had a lot of recommendations to get this simply because it pulls apart. So in the warehouse, we can check in our items using this part, then we sit back at the desk and just put it together and it's a complete laptop. So if you are thinking about getting a laptop or some equipment to use in your own unit, I definitely suggest the Surface Go simply because you can pull the keyboard away from the tablet part of it essentially, and this allows it to be portable so we can move it around the unit. When we get deliveries in, we simply go to the gate, check it in with the iPad and then come back to our office tables. So it has been really useful using the Microsoft Surface Go. You know, the Surface Go fitted what we needed. It was about £200 more than I initially wanted to spend, but we do get a grant for each young person we take on. So essentially the grant we got from the government for taking that young person on paid for the Microsoft Surface Go. So my mum is letting in the first interviewee of the day. So that is the first interview done and dusted with. This young person was actually quite experienced. They've had some job roles before in sort of retailers, so they understand packing, prepping and heavy lifting, because we do a lot of heavy lifting here. In his previous role, he said he used to lift up to 25 kg, which is quite heavy. Here, the max box sizes we do to send into Amazon is 23 kg. So I'm just here keeping warm over the heater. As you can see, it's getting a bit colder now. We're going to start using our heater, which is up there. This is a current view of our unit. It could be a lot more organised. So what we're going to do over the next few weeks is put some more organisation and systems in place. So the aim is to have a dedicated prep space where we'll have 2 or 3 tables just purely for prep, and each station will have everything it needs, like a scissors, the tape, labels, a bin and that sort of thing. As we are getting new workers on board, it's just essential that we start getting better systems in place and being a little bit more organised. Previously it was mainly family and we made it work, but as the business grows and the unit expands, it's definitely essential to get those things in place. So it is currently 12:30 and we have another interview at 2 PM, but during that time period what I'm going to do is actually help with some of the packing. I don't really get too involved in the packing these days, whereas I focus on other aspects of the actual business, but seeing as I've got a few hours free, I'm going to get packing and getting some boxes ready for UPS. My mum is just here preparing some shipments ready for UPS to come. So I'm also going to get stuck in maybe doing some boxes. I also need to work on getting the Kickstarter Ross, who started about 3 weeks ago, set up on payroll. I should have already done that already. He's filled out all the forms that he needs Obviously taking on a new starter, there is a lot of paperwork to fill out. You need to fill out things for HMRC, get them enrolled onto your payroll. It is quite an intensive task. It is a video I can do in the future if anyone is interested how to legally set up an employee on your payroll. So if you do want to know, or if you do want to see a video on that, just let me know down below in the comment section. So here are some of the boxes we've got ready and waiting to go with UPS today. I've just finished packing this particular box. This box is actually 8 kg, but the surprising thing about it is there's actually 110 units in this box, so boxes can definitely be quite deceiving about what's in there. I'm actually not too keen on sending boxes with UPS. I much prefer sending them on pallets. However, some light items do go with UPS as it can just work out more cost effective. So UPS have actually arrived. They've not knocked the door just yet. As you can see, they're parked up outside our unit. However, I think the driver is on his lunch, which gives us a few more minutes to get a few cheeky boxes done so we can get more sent into Amazon today. This might have needed a heavy label on it. Oh well, it's too late. Should be fine. So it is now 1:30 and one interview has been done and dusted with. We've packed some boxes for UPS. UPS have actually been. So the fourth thing now is the next interviewee is due at 2 p.m. So we've got about 20 minutes before he arrives. So we've just finished the second interview of the day and it went pretty well, but I would say that I'm very conflicted at the moment which applicant to go for, because obviously out of the two today we can only choose one. The first guy had experience in warehousing, he's worked in shops before, in warehouses on shop floors, so he's had some work experience there. The second applicant didn't really have much warehouse experience, but he came across really well. He asked the right questions, whereas none of the other applicants we've been interviewing have really asked many questions, so I did like that aspect about him. I have told the applicants that I will let them know tomorrow. Ordinarily, I let the interviewees know on the same day. I do say the second day just to prepare them, but in this case, I think I might actually have to sleep on it because I'm really conflicted. If I go with what my head's telling me, I guess you say my heart, I think it would be the first applicant just because they've got that experience. He does have a family as well, so generally he's a motivated worker. I've really found if people have families like kids, that will keep them in a job longer than if you're just by yourself, but that shouldn't really come into part of forming this decision, I guess, but in a way he does a little bit. So I've got a lot of thoughts going through my head at the moment. I'm going to speak with my mum who is on the interview panel as well, and I guess we'll ultimately decide which applicant we will take on. So fingers crossed we can have the next applicant in post within 2 weeks time, which is just in time for the peak of Q4. So I'm really feeling good about how everything's going at the moment. We've got lots of staff on board, we've got lots of stock, and if you're in the Facebook group you will have seen we've got a 50k loan from Amazon, so it's all popping this Q4. So it is 3:40, almost 4 o'clock. We're going to actually leave, which is a good thing about working for yourself. You can decide when you leave, when you come in and when you go. I do not want to give the wrong impression saying we always finish early, because sometimes we don't. Sometimes we could be here from like 9 until 8 at night. Today's been a bit different. We've had some interviews. The last few days have been quite busy filming for the television program we've been working for, so it's been pretty intense. So now we're going to have a meal and have some discussions about which young person we should take on for the Kickstarter scheme. So we're now in the restaurant. We're on the lake, as you can see behind, so it's a beautiful setting. We've ordered our food, which I can't wait to tuck into. We're actually in Bistro Pierre, which is quite nice to have a lovely lunchtime menu and an evening menu, so I'm looking forward to the food arriving. If you've enjoyed this video, then you know what to do. Check out some of my other videos are linked here.